My dad told me once, he said, try to learn something new every day. And even if it's something you already know how to do. He said, ask questions and pay attention to others. He said, you might learn something new. He knew that the knowledge and ability that you have to do certain things can lead to opportunities that otherwise might not be possible. And today, as we start section 2, it's possible you might have the opportunity to learn something about linear, area, and volume. In your own thoughts, what's the difference in a line, a square, and a cube? In construction, we use different types of measurements: linear, area, and volume. The type of measurement that we need, whether it's linear, area, or volume, determines how we measure it. We can measure one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional. Dimension. What is a dimension? A dimension is a measurement. That's all it is. Linear is one-dimensional. What does that mean? One measurement, a length. Area is two-dimensional, two measurements. And volume is three-dimensional, three measurements. The type of measurement may be linear. Linear is length of distance, a straight line from one point to another point. That's linear length. It's one dimensional. That means just one measurement. You take one measurement. Say you gotta buy the fence to go around this garden. So what you would do is get the measurements for the perimeter. What is a perimeter? Perimeter is the length of all the sides, all these sides of an object added together. That's the perimeter. So you would measure each side 20, 10, 20, 10, and you'd add it together. It's still linear because your measurement's in a straight line. Just like if you were to take each measurement, say you took this first side, it's 20 feet long. You take the next side, 10 feet, add it. The next side and the end, add all those together. What do you have? You got a one-dimensional measurement that you just added together to get the total length. So it's still a total length, which makes it linear or one-dimensional. Even though you measured in different directions, you just simply add it all together to get one length, one dimension. What do you visualize when you think about an area? Like a parking area, a sitting area, an eating area. Here you got an enclosed outdoor area. Here you got an area rug. This is a floor plan for a house. That's the living area. Here you got an area. It's a garden area. So what's an area? An area is a surface. The surface of this piece of plywood. You can measure the length of it. What type of measurement would you get? Linear. That's a straight line from one point to another. One dimension. You can measure the width of it. What type of measurement is this? It's linear. It's just a straight line from one side to the other. But if we put these measurements together, length times width, 4 foot times 8 foot. What type of measurement do you get? It's two-dimensional now. You get area. And that's the size of this surface. It's not just how long it is. It's not how wide it is. It's the size of this surface. That's the area. Surface area. You can measure the length of this roof. And you can figure out how many sheets you need for one row. But to calculate the number of sheets you need for the whole area, you need two measurements. The length times the width. Here we got surface area. If you're looking at this part of that wall, you can take these two measurements and get the area of that wall. So the type of measurement that you need might be area, a surface, two-dimensional. What does dimension mean? Dimension means measurement. So two-dimensional means two measurements. Length times the width. And then there's volume.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission:
to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations,
to boldly go where no man has gone before.
What do you visualize when you think about volume? Not that kind of volume. What is volume? volume is a measurement of a space. It's a measurement that says how much will it take to fill it, or a measurement to tell you how much something will hold. It's got depth. A measurement, how big is it? How much will it carry? How many gallons will it take? So what is volume? It's a measurement of a three-dimensional space. So the type of measurement that you need may be volume. Cube. Three-dimensional. Three measurements. Alright, right now we're going to do a little review activity of what we covered about linear, area, and volume. And what I want you to do is choose which describes the type of measurement you're taking. And your answers will be A, linear, B, area, or C, volume. So as we advance, get your paper and pencil out. As we advance these slides, and we see the question and we see the picture, we'll decide what type of measurement is it. What you're seeing right now, number one, measure a room for carpet. What type of measurement would that be? Would you need to take a linear measurement, area, or volume? B, volume. Next, measure a raised bed for soil. How much soil, if we had to buy the bags and it told us on the bags how many cubic feet or whatever of soil, how do we measure that? Would it be linear, area, or volume? C, volume. Next, distance markers. Now, these look like markers on a driving range of a golf course. So that'd be 50 yards, 100 yards, 150 yards. So what type of measurement are these giving us? Linear, area, or volume? That will be length, right? Distance, that's linear. Alright, to measure the roof, measure this roof for shingles. Looks like we have an arrow showing the length and an arrow showing the width. What type of measurement would that be? Alright, that'd be B for area. Alright, we got 4 more. I think we got 8 total. So to measure the size of this box, what are we looking at? Length, width, and height. That's 3 measurements. So that will be volume. Alright, next, we're going to measure the length of this board, mark it, and cut it. So when we measure length, that is A, linear. Am I going too fast? Next, we want the surface area of this piece of plywood. How big is the surface of this sheet of OSB? That would be area, B. Last, how many gallons of water will it take to fill this pool? What type of measurement would that be? That will be volume. How much will it hold? Alright, that was just a little activity to kind of brush up and reinforce what we already been talking about. Go to the next slide. Alright, so in this section we discuss linear, area, and volume, and how we measure them in different dimensions. Next we'll learn when we measure in different dimensions that we also need units with different dimensions. Linear inch. So when we measure linear, it's just a straight measurement, right? When we measure area, we have to measure two directions. So we measure not just a linear inch, it's called a square inch. And then when we measure volume, that's three different measurements. So we have to measure in cubic inches. So with linear, area, and volume, you measure linear, which is length, a square inch for area, and a cubic inch for volume. Those are the three units. Even though the units we're using are inches, each unit is made differently. Straight, square inch, cubic inch.